No Jumper, and we back. I'm in the building for the second time ever with my man, JT the Bigga Figga. One of my favorite people. Honestly, that last interview, to me, one of the most illuminating, comprehensive conversations I ever had with anybody in the history of doing this. So
come on with it.
I'm glad we waited a little while to get the second one in, but it's going to be great.
Nah, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So I guess we should probably start with a little bit of our smoke.
Come on with it, man. Let's start with the...
Let's talk about No Jumper South. That's what everybody talking about.
Come on, man.
When I said I was having you on, everybody want to talk about it. All right.
No Jumper South. Hey, look.
Break it down for me.
You know the coldest part about it? You had answered and correctly addressed the No Jumper South. Hey, man, JT been hit me. I haven't got back. We talked about ideas, but we had no set ideas. We just was talking about potential things that we can do. So in the midst of that time going by, I end up hooking up with Showbiz in Atlanta, and he has his own printing machine. So printing up signs, we can make literally in 30 minutes, any sign of anything.
Okay.
So I tell him, I say, man, I want to show Adam this layout. Print out the No Jumper, put the South right there, print that out, and let me send it to him.
Right.
See what he think. But by me sending it to you and posting it, you start getting the calls, and then when Wack intervened,
right,
his source saying I was shopping it was the dude that he got into it with, went to his house or something, and they had some type of fallout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy, old man Stan or something.
Oh, Stan G, who's always going back and forth. Right, yeah.
I'm like, bro, how you listening to this dude? You feel me? You promoting something with Adam. Adam saying, nah, I don't think it was malicious.
Yeah.
Because he texted me. He sent it to me, you know. So I think by me posting it and then the controversy with Wack and his part, he kept saying, nah, my man said JT trying to sell No Jumper South. I'm like, how am I sell No Jumper South, bro?
Right.
Yes.
I took it as like, you know, if you want to sell somebody on a business, a lot of times you might put together a presentation to basically be like, look, if we work together, it's going to look like this.
Bingo.
That could be like the most convincing thing that you could do for a lot of people. So I kind of took it as like that. Like, you know, it's not like you were creating content with it, but it did start to get kind of confusing right away because I had people hitting me up saying like, oh, there's a No Jumper South. Can I go do an interview with him, etc.? Like, and you know, I felt like it was a little bit.
It started growing feet immediately.
Yeah, because as soon as you post it publicly, then all of a sudden it starts to create a narrative that was a little different.
Yes. Nah, it was absolutely. If you're gonna do business, showing somebody what you could do better than all these presentations. Yeah, I can do this, I can do that. And so by me just showing the look, that's what that was all about. You had said it, and that's what it was. And then add a Wack, nah, it was deeper than that. You know?
Yeah.
He added that. I got the when I seen y'all discussing it, I'm like, okay, Adam is leaning, but then it turned into its viral moment. JT caught red-handed.
You might as well use it for what you can. Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah, no love lost at all.
No love lost.
Because I mean, that was kind of a weird thing where there was a little bit of tension, like, oh, if JT runs into Wack in this building, then we might have an issue. What was there a likelihood or a chance of that potentially?
Wack100 thinks that the skinny guys don't fight. So he has a conversation of, oh, I could just knock you out when I see you. I'm like, bro, it's not just that simple, bro. Now you saying this, if you ever want to do that, then you go ahead and try that. You feel me? But as far as me attacking him, he's just another person on the list. Like he said, I don't got nothing against you. I just be going with the news. Yeah, but you getting faulty info and you passing it as truth and facts. And that's the bogus side of your campaign because it's for content and not the truth.
To be real, I feel like what Wack does is that he basically like does the thing that a good media personality does, which is that they take the story in front of them and they figure out how to make entertaining content out of it. So he'll act crazy, he'll exaggerate something, he'll take something that he's seeing and he'll just turn it up a few notches or whatever. But then that same conflict will kind of end him up with like serious problems with people. And more often than not, he's not going to back down and say like, yo, I was just making content. I was just fucking around. I was just doing whatever. Then it's more like, oh no, like now we're basically going to be at war forever.
Well, you know, anytime somebody say, oh, I'm going to knock you out when I see you, most times they not going to knock you out when they see you. You know? It's repercussions on every level, you know what I mean? And everybody ain't to be played with. Like, you could play, but you don't know the thinking capabilities of someone who looks like an easy pushover, but this person absolutely connected and can get down too, you know. So nah, I don't never look at him as no threat. He feel comfortable speaking on me. So, but I won't make today's topic with you about him.
For sure.
Yeah. See, I'm a positive man. You know, I need to be known for positivity.
Okay.
You know, even though I could, you know, put pressure on shit too.
Basically, JT, the Bigga Figga, is not for play.
Nah, not for playing. I'm not even tough. And what I do that what Wack don't do, I go to every hood in America by myself. I go to every gang that's in America. I'm connected to, not in negativity.
Right.
What do the gang members like me for? I share knowledge and information about being independent, and I never leave God out the equation. So I also implement God's plan. What is God plan for all these street guys? You had spoke about being an antidote, right? And when I heard you say that, I said, well, if God not part of it, there will never be an antidote.
Right.
So positivity has to come to the forefront at a certain point, and I believe that's going to be the new wave where people resolving issues will become the new wave. Remember I told you that. We already know what the drama part look like, but the new wave is who resolved their issue, who got their matters out the way and came to a even playing field of conversation. They don't got to be hella friends and peace treaties. I think all street guys should be on defense. Defense win championship games. How well was your defense? You survived the war. You stayed out of jail. You are on an independent grind. Entrepreneurs, same thing. Bringing the street attitude to this type of blueprint.
It's hard to imagine, but that ultimately is what needs to happen, is that the culture needs to be able to treat dudes squashing beef, dudes getting over beef, dudes being able to coexist as being just as sexy and exciting as dudes wanting to kill each other. People have to realize that killing each other is old school. It's old news. It's unproductive. It's the reason why your homies got locked up for 10, 20 years.
That's right.
And it's all about just trying to figure out how to get past all that shit, which I do feel like I see little things in the culture that make me optimistic that we're moving towards something like that.
I just recently left Chicago.
Right.
It was the Nation of Islam Savior's Day event that happens every year. And me going, I wanted to go to the streets because the Nation of Islam taught me as an alternative, hey, black man, look at yourself with a little bit more value. Hey, black man, you know your ideas is your money. It's not the money that you chasing. You got to respect the idea that God blessed you with, right? So me coming to Chicago, I said, I'm going to go get the GDs, the BDs, the Vice Lords, the Black P Stones, the Black Panthers, some Moles, some Mickey Cobras. These are gangs that's out there, right? But when they see me, they remember me. Oh, that's the dude that shot the movie, right? So I said, I'm going to invite y'all to come to the mosque with me to hear this message. Do you know the gang members came? I got a couple of them here right now. My man Boss 365 coming out of Roseland. You know, shout out to Golden Child. Shout out to the Latin Kings. People was shocked like, JT, how did you get these people to come? I say, man, I'm using the independent game. It's positive. It's not that I'm known for being a gangster. It's known that I'm not scared to come be with the gangsters and tell them some good info that help raise a person's mind who only thinking guns, drugs, bitches, murders, all this shit to, hey, boy, that idea y'all got, y'all neighborhood valuable. You see bloggers come here and do their thing and make money. Y'all should look at your own environment to make films, to get the music and to put the films together. So many people making movies now, but I'm one of the architects of the no script movie making, shoot a fucking movie in 3-4 days, put your music in there and get a buzz. So many hoods is saying, bro, we want our story told. So shout out to Chicago for the brothers coming together. And I also had to shout out Kendrick Lamar and all the Crips and Bloods, the Hoovers, the neighborhoods, people who was having conversations, even though it didn't solve nothing overnight. It was the fact that I got invited to some of these meetings out here in LA about brothers squashing shit or at least having communication. So for me to get invited, I was like, damn, this might be part of what I'm supposed to do in this rap game.
Right.
I'm the underdog that God blessing and still make it even against all the odds. I'm 51. What the fuck you still doing in the rap game? Making beats, doing songs, making films, pulling up. Because you get old once you lose your vision.
100%. Wait, so you mentioned Islam, and definitely in Chicago in particular, you see that feeling like it might be sort of like a fix for some of the honor culture that exists in these inner cities, where dudes really feel like the one thing that they have to live and die for is basically like avenging their dead brothers and whatnot. But I think also, at least some people have a little bit of suspicion that maybe sometimes the faith is almost like a cover for maybe not as honest or upfront intentions by some people. Do you ever worry about that? Or it feels like sometimes people turn to Islam like right at the moment when it feels like the feds are coming down. No shots at anybody involved, but we've seen a little bit of that.
I think like this, for me personally, first of all, until I came in contact with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, FOI brothers that was in San Francisco Fillmore District, we never heard of nothing like this. But to see them brothers always caring about us, even though we had some guns or drugs, stolen cars, that information going into my young mind, I was able to capture the spiritual side. Like, you know what you do out here, you pay for it. You could shut down your rap dreams or shut down your dreams based on some little money moves you making now. You got to pay for this shit. That got burned into my head so young about the consequence that I got lucky that the word was strong enough, and then it empowered me to say, you know, signing 360 deals, publishing, copyright, masters, all of that's a business. You want to be famous, so you about to sign with these labels. You better get an understanding. At first, I just want the deal. You hear horror stories. Man, they gave me a necklace. They gave me a car. I signed the paper. But you didn't read all these in perpetuity mean forever. Masters, publishing, copyright. So now, fast forward back to Chicago and why people might hide under the faith. It can, once you come into the faith of Islam, it can give you the protection side that you feel like you getting oneness with Allah, right? Even though we come from Christianity, you could do the same thing. Some of us more hard-headed and needed something a little deeper. So that's when Islam becomes something where a person who only know guns, drugs, murder, killing, but when they learn this, it start opening their mind to consider this is the dark side, and it's going to end with death in jail. But this is opening my mind to be more of a human being, you know. But there's people who will get the light and then want to mingle with the darkness.
Right.
Still sell a little dope, kill a couple people here and there. But I'm Muslim, you know, assalamu alaikum. Nah, that ain't how it's supposed to go.
Right.
You know, Islam ain't nothing that got to do with you mixing your good with your bad. That don't mean we don't fall victim to our old self. But you can't be telling the world Muslim Islam, and then we see you right here. You got your guns, you got your dope, you got your prostitutes and hoes. It's a contradiction.
Because I'll be sitting on this podcast having a conversation with a young dude from Chicago, and they'll be not like a super young dude, because usually it takes them to a little bit older before they convert or whatever. But it'll be like, we'll bring up an op, and then they won't have anything to say about him. And the reason why is basically like, we're both Muslims, so I can't say nothing about him, et cetera, which is a great development if that's sincere. But I think a lot of people also kind of have the fear of like, everything's the same beneath this surface coating of like y'all acting as if things are a different way. I don't know how much that actually is the case, or how often, you know, people within that community are able to help try to get in between some of these beefs and whatnot.
I think people who convert or who accept, I won't even use the word convert, I would say accept Islam as their choice now, their path, they're being educated, they're learning. And then when you see, like you say, an op is doing the same thing, in that Holy Quran, it speak of never kill another Muslim. You know, it's against the law.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody claiming Islam, you're not allowed to do that.
And for sure, if that dude comes on a podcast and starts talking shit about another Muslim, they're going to be hearing about it from the older dudes in that organization.
Nah,
for sure.
You held accountable once you become part of some of these families, some of these institutions. Maybe it's the Nation of Islam, maybe it's Sunni Muslim, Al Islam, you know, Hebrews. It's so many different aspects, but I am seeing more people who saying they Muslim, that they will be considering to at least be on defense, not to say I'm looking for or we still got smoke. So I think that do pour a little water, but the development of a pure heart saying Islam, none of us have achieved that yet. That would be false. I don't care how many Hamdulillah, if they start talking in Arabic and got the head thing on. Hey, boy, you got the same struggle as the one who might come to the Nation of Islam. It's still the same struggle.
Well, okay, from your perspective, Chicago gets treated kind of like a unique case in a way. Could you just silence that?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Just because it feels like the gang violence there is kind of extreme in comparison to a lot of other parts of America, but you've got a vantage point of having been involved in the industry and the streets in a whole shitload of American cities. What do you see as being unique about Chicago, or what makes it such an explosive environment over the last decade and a half or so?
I think the explosiveness of the violence goes up and down within Chicago, just
Right.
my learning. I think the music and social media help expand it to it's more popularized. I think the people of Chicago are numb to the killing.
Yeah.
The young people already have a thought of how they're gonna die and what kind of funeral they want. People picking out caskets, do smoke sessions, chopping it up. Like people, it's so much killing, but the further you can get away from it, from like school, driving, music, studio, working a job, those who are having other aspects that they got access to, this side, excuse me, is starting to look like it's not as beneficial. At a certain point, if you go back 10 years and you say, how did it get to right here? People know right now, hey, boy, if you get a job, you lucky as So to mix the two, you know, but those who ain't looking at jobs, I ain't looking at no business. I'm going to sell dope. I'm going to rob. I'm going to steal. I'm going to get it how I live. In that environment, it's explosive like a motherfucker. It's here today, gone tomorrow, you know, and spending some time out in Chicago for the month of February, I was just able to see, like, it feel good to share something with street guys who listening to, hey, look, y'all, you know, California trying to put some peace together too. I'm shouting this out. I'm like, man, to see all y'all gangs in one room and I'm here talking to y'all, man, only God could have put me right here, because I know they like, yeah, you know, we don't really, our crews, they ain't getting along, but I'm a voice, I'm a big dog, so I could be here, so I could speak on behalf of our gang. That don't mean everybody gonna listen.
Right.
But in terms of these meetings, and we support you back, JT, for even coming, risking your life, coming up in here, you know? And one of them is here right now, you know? So I think the explosiveness is those who rejecting, like Minister Farrakhan say, you know, I have been a voice and a warning. I'm not supposed to be the one to do it for you. I'm the one telling you, if y'all continue this lifestyle, you're going to see a darkness come over the neighborhoods and you're going to see more bloodshed because we are promoting it like it's okay. And if we don't want to hear God's voice on saying, look, I'm blessing y'all, trying to give you a chance, but if you're going to reject the word and the warning, then you're going to see more killing, Adam. You're going to see, we seeing more Fed cases or more arrests and all this different stuff going on. The past, if you got away with killing people 4, 5, 10 years ago, whatever, and then you want to be promoting this shit like it's cool, but you already got away with it, you actually responsible to say, nah, I got away with it and I don't want to pay. It looked like all old bodies is coming back to pay.
Right.
Over these last couple of days, I'm like, damn, shit from 4, 5 years ago coming back with the ultimate weight.
Right.
Charges and all this shit.
I mean, it's kind of understandable in a way that if you get away with something for a year, 2 years, you start feeling like, okay, this is over.
Yeah, I got away.
Which is definitely not the case. And there's definitely been a lot of examples of people, you know, airing out stuff that they were involved with that seems insane. Now, once you see the Fed charges come down and you're like, oh, that might have been 3, 4 years ago, but you were talking about it like it was nothing. The truth is that the feds are very interested in that regardless.
Yeah, and they recording everything and lining it up with time stamps and all that shit. I seen it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're alluding to the Rollin 60s takedown that the feds did, which took our boy Big Baby out the paint for a little while now, hopefully not too long. What's your perspective on seeing something like that happen? Because we were talking about people kind of using Islam potentially to sort of mask whatever they have going on in the streets. And according to the feds, Big U is basically doing that with his charitable organization.
I think from my observance of Big U, he absolutely come from the dark side, but his attempt to do good make him a bigger threat because he is attempting to do good. I can't say, I don't know anything of the dark side. What I've seen, and since I've been interacting with him out here, our conversations all only persist or pertain that type of lingo, that type of energy. And working with them youth and shit and seeing how he was really quarterbacking that, man, that was you a threat because you absolutely could influence these people to do better, and that'll mess up a lot of jobs within law enforcement. It's a budget if you guys keep killing.
Right.
Budget goes down if your killing go down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was part of that whole grid program, which a lot of people had made a big deal out of and said that, you know, this is kind of crazy to be a dude who's in the streets and be in a position where you're kind of working with law enforcement to try to, you know, help stop situations, which is one way of looking at it, or to provide information about what's going on, I guess would be like the other way of looking at it. I mean, that's one thing I've been kind of surprised by is that when I see people playing clips from podcasts and stuff, I mean, Big U had his own podcast and he called it Checking In, and at least some of the allegations that he's been hit with are basically that of him charging people to check in various ways. You know, I mean, there's a reason why we've done quite a few hood vlogs over the years on No Jumper, and that the Rollin 60s has always kind of seemed like the sort of spot where we didn't necessarily want to do a hood vlog because we've heard stories. Nobody had to tell me directly, but we've heard a lot of stories about people maybe being taxed to spend time there or create content there. I don't know. But Wack had a quote that kind of stood with me yesterday where he said, this motherfucker got out of jail and started acting like it was 1987 again.
Hey, well, the internet is undefeated. They say the internet is undefeated. So things we might have said X amount of time ago, and now they finding clips. I'm like, how the fuck is these people finding these clips?
Yeah.
But they there, right? But me speaking on behalf, because I said I didn't want to come here and act like I got an opinion.
Right.
I can say I support Big U. I wish him the best in this situation. Brick Baby, man, I hope they all get you know, whatever situation they can get it resolved, you know, but without me putting no cut, I only went by what I heard somebody say that pertained to those type of charges or whatever. But seeing it, I never saw nothing like that.
Right, definitely. But
I never saw
from your perspective, people act like LA is the home of the check-in or the home of people essentially being extorted to be spending time out here.
They never charge me though.
Right.
I go to the 60, they come on.
Are you almost kind of insulted? Like, damn, y'all think I ain't got a bag?
Nah, I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm happy. I go over there with Big U and stand on the block. Like they never asked me for no money or nothing, you know? I mean, that don't mean whatever else. But I feel honored that these hoods out here invite me to pull up on their blocks. And I always come with the independent game. I always pass phone numbers to plugs down south and the East Coast for shit that they need, people that they could do transactions with tangible products, film masters, copyrights, audio masters, Pro Tools sessions. Why are you saying that, JT? Because I know people that'll buy your masters from you, whether you sold some albums or not. There's a group of people that buy masters, and sometimes these street guys, I have their little rappers, and they might have some songs, and I'm like, look, bro, I know y'all do your trapping shit. Let me give you the phone number where y'all could sell some bundles to these people. They want to buy the Pro Tools session. They want the file. They want you to sign off. They letting you know this a purchase. This ain't a 360 deal. This is people who are accumulating masters because one of y'all might be a big star later, so they want to buy before. So by me helping the streets with even that little information, some guy got these songs, now they playing with $40,000, $50,000 legal money off of selling masters. Now anybody watching, I'm not gonna say that's the best move. But if you broke and you need 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 and y'all got enough product, yes, you foolish for selling it because you get nothing else.
Right.
But to get a legal 100,000 off some shit sitting on your computer, you might want to consider that.
I mean, hip hop is full of people who are salty about the fact that they sold their masters at a young age and can't profit in the long run off of their shit. You wonder about these companies who are buying those kind of masters just because it's like, you're either going to end up in a situation where the person you bought it off is extremely upset in the long run, or you're going to buy something that doesn't seem to have that much value in the long run. I don't know. Like, those companies will buy that shit even if you're not like a big artist or the music hasn't had an impact.
That's where guys like me come in JT, who are some of the guys that haven't got their big break yet?
Right.
That actually got some music, whether it has a buzz or not, does it sound presentable? If you just sound halfway presentable, you're gonna be able to sell. Now, once you sell, I'm telling you up front, you get nothing else.
Right.
So if you get 40,000 for, let's just say, 25 songs, you just sold 25 songs for 40,000 flat rate. The images that go with it, any video clips, you're selling it. But one of them songs can make 40,000 in no time.
Yeah.
You just collect. So think about it like this. If you got money, there's no place that you can go pawn songs.
Right.
There's not a popular place that anybody that's under these type of terms and conditions can go to this office and sell and leave with a check to pay for you and your baby mama bills for this next X amount of months.
Right.
But JT know people that buy this shit. That's what they into. We want to buy shit because we're going to take the songs and we're going to make our own TikTok, or we're going to make our own thing to make the money back. We're going to get these songs placed on video games and movie soundtracks. So they got their plug on placing it to get publishing and royalties and revenues from it.
Did you sell that game album?
Yeah, I sold the game album to Koch. And Wack was like, "Oh, you stupid, you didn't."
Oh, back in the day you did this, right?
I did that, and I spent $12,000 and end up with 500,000. I could have made 5 million, yes, but to get 500,000 for sure before I die, go to jail or lawsuit, give me the money.
It is crazy.
I'm out of here. I'm out.
Wack treats game and his career and everything about it. He's so protective. Even yesterday, we were talking about just bloods in the industry, and I basically said, like, yeah, Lil Wayne's a bigger name in the music game than Game. And when we're talking about like kind of grading all the different bloods, oh my God, he was not having it. He's very upset at even the idea of that, even though we're talking about people from completely different cities, completely different upbringings, etc. But man, it's like you cannot say a thing about Game. He will take over a perfectly normal conversation to explain to you how the game is a very important part of this conversation and how he's the most relevant rapper in the history of LA, etc. It's like a kind of constant thing that I'm always trying to veer away from in the podcast.
When you got a cash cow, you got to treat your cash cow properly and protect your cash cow. Shout out to the cash cow, man.
Shout out to all the cash cows. That's a fact. So like one other big development that we've seen since we last talked is that Young Thug didn't beat his case, but he was able to plea out and basically avoid a lot of the consequences that people thought that he was going to have to deal with. What's your perspective on watching all this go down and what this might mean for the future of his career in Atlanta in general?
R.I.P. Nut forever, man. West Side Atlanta, Fillmore Atlanta, Zone 1. I started like that. Trap Flicks, because he helped play a part of my foundation.
Definitely.
It was always love for Thug, as you know, watching the trial and what led up to the actual killings. It was many things that I had nothing to do with, because I couldn't understand how we all together, but it's some other internal shit I have no knowledge of. So watching it all play out, I was thinking to myself, I talked to his mom, of course the family want the full press.
Yeah.
But
we've seen videos of Nut's mom crying and being upset about the verdict.
Like any other mother. So by me knowing her and knowing the family and always staying loyal to the family, I kept it neutral. I say, well, you could get away from the prosecutor or DA, but God and what he do is worse than what the prosecutor could do. So my opinion would say he did the right thing at the deal he took. It is extreme, but to get out facing all of that, I understood.
Right,
I understood, and the prosecutor did. They like, we got to get something out of this.
Yeah.
So if we can get control of him for this much time, we can almost say he gonna smoke weed within these next 15 years. He gonna pop a pill or he gonna drive his car or something. They banking on that side of him where they can get him because it's strict.
Right,
one strike, I think you out. So
definitely, but I mean, it is sad. Like as much as hip hop collectively pretty much celebrated Thug beating that charge because they want him to make more music and live a great life, etc. But it does feel like the feelings of the families and the desire to get justice for people who were victims in this whole case kind of got brushed to the side because the victims on average, not as famous, not as beloved as, you know, rappers tend to be. And that does feel like kind of a dark undertone to it. And I have had people highlight and send me clips of even little things that, you know, Thug or certain people have said since this case that makes you maybe feel like there's not as much repentance as you might expect or wish that people would have in this sort of situation.
I mean, I heard a few of the lines he said, you know, I think part of the rap game, you got to show that you didn't give a.
Yep.
I was in jail. I had it my way. Everything was fine. You know,
yeah, I saw that.
I heard
yeah.
that line. Now I'm like, okay, now maybe he probably did, but don't nobody want to be in there. I don't care if you got nurses coming, you got McDonald's coming in.
Right.
Don't nobody want to be up in there, man. You know, but in the rap game, you gotta let the streets know this shit is nothing.
Right.
Yeah, this shit ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You know? But the dark side of when life is lost, that hurt from both sides because it was love there, you know. But in the midst of, you know, tension and drama, you know, you got to stand like, well, I don't care. I don't care about this life, you know. So me just watching this situation, everything that got to do with people getting took out from jealousy or not even a real beef, it seemed like the karma from that is coming back quicker. Now, those who in active wars, it is what it is. And I'm not speaking on their business because I didn't have no details. I just watched it on YouTube. But knowing the family and then looking at how God worked, it's like, you know what? I will have to have some repentance. First of all, God let me up out of here. I'm back on the street. Number two, I don't want to say nothing to make the family feel no kind of way.
Right.
Me personally, I wouldn't do that. Now, if he feel comfortable doing that, he could bring the dark cloud in, and it'll come from the higher power. Like, you not happy you out? You got your life again. This is even if you on probation for 30 years, any man that say, I'll do it. Would you do it?
Man, the truth, I would have been in Mark's knees in that cell begging to get out, and I know he did the same thing.
Come on, so that's all. But the repentance side, I think that'll add to longevity. Like Tay Savage talking with the girl,
Blazing Doll,
Blazing Doll, and he had something to do with her mother getting killed or something like that. I was like, man, he trying to go to the Lord he trying to get God attention.
Right.
If he did that for real, and it looked like it's real, it looked like she was kind of happy.
Yeah.
That type of shit should be all over the blogs, bro.
I know that was an interesting one because
wow.
Part of me wonders like how much of that is because at the end of the day, as much bullshit as she might have seen or been through, or as much pain as she might have felt losing her mom, how much of that is because she's a woman that she doesn't have as much pride as the average man or gang member,
to keep
etc.
the anger.
Yeah, because it feels like for a lot of people in hip hop and whatnot, like that anger about losing a loved one to someone is
like you're not supposed to let it go.
You can never let it go. It's kind of amazing to see her be able to do that, but it also makes me wonder, like, are we going to be able to get all these knuckleheads to agree to that sort of thing as time goes by?
I think that just that statement alone, that God put his hands on that, because to see her smile sitting next to him, I think it took some off her to just hear him say that.
Yeah.
It took something to not have nothing, but to just get that, and I'm sitting here with him. I think that helped heal her, you know, heal a part of her, and I commend him. Tay Savage, salute. I met him out there in Chirac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was talking. Yeah, you know, I'm with Islam now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still from the street, but you know, I'm taking my Islam serious. Then a couple weeks later, I see him doing that. I said, oh, that's a heavy statement.
Yeah.
Now, some people gonna say, oh, that's soft. You know, once we step on shit, we just gonna, that's cool to say that.
Yeah.
But over time, we still human. And to see this girl and knowing I got something to do with mom's gone, if I could show her some love, that probably took some weight off of him too, though.
Yeah, because Tay went and sat down for like 10 years. So
Yeah.
I really believe he was that, you know, sort of stereotype of a crazy Chirac savage when he was younger. And now he definitely, like, you don't see that side of him when you spend time around him. It seems like he's really focused on living a better life.
I think he happy to be free.
Yeah.
And I think he happy that he not dead with so many of his friends gone,
Yeah.
you know, and just seeing Dirt gone, Vine gone, and whoever else is gone. He's telling me, man, I'm taking my rap shit serious. And I'm taking my Islam serious. So he got two things going for him. that'll definitely keep him, you know, going in a different direction.
No, 100%. How did you feel seeing that Dirk Rico come down? Because that was another one that was super sad in terms of just a person who had all the potential and opportunities in the world, and to realize that allegedly that quest for revenge could be enough to set him off his path and obviously fuck his career up for at least however many years he's going to be fighting this trial and whatnot.
If you remember on our first interview, when I said I had the spirit of revenge, I knew I was on my way to Africa and I want to get the guy that shot me. I know where he be. I'm going to do my homework. And remember I said, my first day going back over there, he walked out the gate with his head down. And I got Draco on my lap, somebody. And in that split second, I said, keep driving. This dirty ass motherfucker right here, bro. Like, he looked like, goddamn, man, somebody be sleeping downtown damn near. For me to throw mine away, to trade, to say I got the revenge, at that split second, the God part of me said, boy, listen, you got him. I'm giving him to you. This was like my test. That's who shot you. He right here and ain't nobody around. Guess where we at? At Thomasville, 4-season projects, across the street from the federal prison. Cameras everywhere.
It's right there.
But he right here walking out the apartment, finna walk to the gas station. And remember I said I went and got the drone.
The drone, yeah.
And I just did that to antagonize and to let him know, boy, I could have just had you. Now, it was some comments that say, oh, man, if that was me, I'd have got him. You a sucker. You saw it. I say, nah, I'm free, man. I got a wife. I got 7 children. I be home kicking with my family. I go city to city, state to state, country to country. I'm free. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I be broke sometime and I be balling sometime. Back down broke again. I'm back balling again.
Right.
The regular human being aspects, but I like freedom and seeing what, and we talking about Lil Durk, to lose his brother that type of pain, I could understand. Losing Vine, I could understand because the public was on his head, right? But him being a gangster, is what he say he is, and he come from that. I think that's what happened in most gangs in America, where the gang might know this dude could rap or he play basketball or something is valuable about him, but we gotta handle this business around here, or just, you know, we into it with these dudes. So the gang don't necessarily give that person a pass on participating because we want you to make it. That's what happened to me in field mode. There was a number of people when our neighborhood started to go at each other. I had my opinion about why did our homie kill our other homie. But if this homie broke in his house and then he wanted to kill him, like, who's to say how far the punishment supposed to go for an activity between homies? So niggas was dying over dice games, breaking in house, somebody fuck somebody's girl. And my partner said, Fig, you got a chance for this rap shit. If I was you, bro, I wouldn't get in none of this. I wouldn't make no opinions. I don't say nothing about no side, because soon as you make an opinion, you become a target now.
Take
because
a side, yeah.
just like in Atlanta, about me keep putting that name out there, it was people that wasn't happy about that. I'm like, how you gonna tell me who I'm supposed to love though?
Right.
So I'm willing to stand on that. Whatever hate come to me because I love Nut, then I got to stand on that. To this very day, I still represent for my brother. The whole Atlanta know. JT love Nut.
Yeah.
Period. JT loyal, nigga. In death, he ain't even here. JT go tap in with his sons, his mamas, his brother, his pops, because I know how important he was in helping me. There's nobody else that replaced him.
That's a wild thing in hip hop, that there's many situations over the years in which somebody loses their life, and you even posting him on your story and saying rest in peace is controversial, and that people feel some type of way about that.
Yes.
And Drake even at one point had a line where he basically acknowledged that situation, even with his Toronto politics, or maybe he was talking about shit out here where basically, like, you know, you don't even want to post somebody up when they lose their life because you're kind of inserting yourself in there.
Yeah, and you don't know which way it's gonna come.
You don't know what you're co-signing either, because some people, this person you're saying RIP to, somebody's looking at it thinking he killed my brother.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with Nut. He told me a few things, but as far as how deep it go, I never asked. I just know I'm with a hot boy right now. Yeah. Everybody in his crew, these all hot boys. Everybody who I meet is into the dark side. The whole Atlanta is in the dark side. I barely met people who didn't have some type of aspect Even in the music, like shit, but Fig, it's two Atlantas, bro. It's the shit you see, then it's the underworld. The underworld control the shit you see, Fig. Remember that. Don't never get too caught up with this. Have an understanding of what's going on down here, or you're not gonna be successful in Atlanta. And that's how I was able to penetrate the underworld, because I don't sell dope. I ain't living I'm not dibbling and dabbling. I don't got no bags of weed, no pills, none of that. I do rap music, movies, marketing, promotion, software, posters, printing, merchandise. That's what the streets is attracted. That I always got to play a plug. You know, in the dope game they call it the play.
Yeah.
Or I got to plug on something. Man, I got Chinese dude got this warehouse full of shit he make. Or I got my white boy partner. He run all these T-shirts over here. He gonna give us a deal. Long as you paying, it's like the dope game. So just this whole concept that we talking about right now is like the dark side is running shit. You as a podcaster, this is a business. So talking about the hot shit is understandable.
Right.
But I'm giving you to play the new wave. Be sure you be part of catching it. The positive shit motherfuckers doing that nobody's talking about. Should be something that should be highlighted.
You gotta find ways to loop that back in.
To loop it back in.
You gotta mix the sweet with the shit, like, or the sugar with the shit with the sugar. I forget how it goes.
That's
but
exactly right.
You gotta be able to like talk about the viral, crazy, violent, unbelievable shit that's going on, but then also like try to find ways to root it back to like how things should be.
Bingo. And you got the power to do that. Like, I know you might lose a few followers. Or what the fuck Adam doing? What is he saying with? But it take courage too, just like it take courage for a gang member that know that they've been warned for all these years for him to say, all right, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. It takes a little bit of that too.
And it's not gonna just purely be like a selfless decision, because the truth is that like people don't want to go do an interview with a platform that just purely traffics in evil. You know, like ultimately that's going to impact how you're viewed by the community, and people who have respect aren't going to really want to go sit on your platform. I feel like part of the risk for us is just the fact that we could do a 3-hour podcast and talk about the good and the bad of a situation. But ultimately, if there's one moment where somebody says something that sounds like they're basically declaring war, that's going to be the clip that really circulates, you know?
Okay, this is another thing. A friend of mine have a birthday. He booked Game to come to Fillmore.
Recently?
2013 to be exact.
Okay.
He booked me. All right, look, Fig, I know y'all ain't talk to each other in a while. Woo. I said, but I ain't got no problem with Game, man. You booking him for your birthday, and I'm coming too. Then we gonna do is Fillmore. Boom. He book him. I come. Me and Game, we don't really speak, but we just go. So I go, woo. So we in my hood, in our building. Boom. I tell my partner, I'm gonna open up. I'm not gonna perform after him. I'm gonna just do my shit, right? As soon as I get on the stage, one of the Game peoples get into it with one of my folk. Boom, some blows going, boom. Then some more of the guys jump in. Now, they trying to get Game out. I'm on stage, and then my partner hit me like, bro, they fighting. Boom, I turn around. Now, I got this footage. I never released it, but I just want to share with you how things can happen, right? But this is a testament to my character. Already, me and him, he ain't never put me on. He ain't never put me in position. He ain't never tried to throw nothing back, right? So I'm already knowing if something happened to him, they gonna say I'm hating on him. That's why I never made no interviews dissing him and making diss songs and all that. Like, bro, if you don't want to acknowledge that nigga, that God put me there to help you, cool, you go and do your shit, right? At this event, now that this fight going, Game run to the van. His mans in them is trying to fight off my guys. Everybody's not participating, only the guys who participating. So it's kind of like a fair number that's fighting. While they trying to protect Game, my partner, my young partner got the pistol. I said, give me the pistol. Boom. I run and jump in the driver's side of the van. Game is in the back. Now I'm letting them know, hey boy, look, I could pop you, Game. Why you let your niggas fall out with my niggas in my hood? I could blow you down right now. Nah, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I say, bro, why you let your mans even get into it with my mans? They with you. But guess what I'm gonna do? I'm finna help y'all get up out of here. So I get out the side, his man's in the move. I'm like, I'm not finna pop nobody, But I took the gun from my young partner who wanted to shoot that game in the van. I took the gun and pointed the gun at him, say, boy, I could blow you down right now. Nigga, I'm a real player. Nigga, this field more business. Nigga, I ain't even on that. I'm finna help y'all get up out of here. I get out the van and say, everybody back up. The whole hood like, man, fuck them niggas. I say, nah. Don't nobody shoot in this van. Let them get in this van and go. It's a 15 passenger. They got about 9 guys and they got about 10 guys and about 7 or 8 women. So about 18, 19 people.
Mm-hmm.
I made everybody squeeze in that van. They was in that motherfucker, packed like sardines. And I said, let him go, bro, so he could get out of here safe. It's people from Compton that was there. They know JT we could have been, but that was JT that stopped this whole hood from having a dinner plate right there. They outnumbered, outgunned.
Wow.
I don't know why y'all would do this, but Wack100, knowing this, that's part of why he always want to take shots at me. But I'm like, bro, I never diss game. I never sue game. I never dick ride game. I just see y'all niggas is hating. And now that you his manager, whenever little comments come up and they ask about game or he try to act like, oh yeah, I met JT, that's really nothing. Like try to downplay it. I always tell Wack, I'm like, boy, you wasn't around. None of y'all discover game. I'm the one discover him. Nobody from LA, Compton, nowhere. I'm the one say, boy, you the next nigga for the West Coast. I told him that February 14, 2002. He got his deal with Dr. Dre in 2003. His deal didn't get activated till 2005. 20 years ago.
Right.
So every aspect of what was happening, when Young Buck, I had Young Buck with me and Game at the same time. It's just like, crazy how I'm part of these different things, but I'm saying that I'm only saying all this to say I'm not a gangster or tough.
That is a wild ass story, though. Let's just acknowledge that. That's a
crazy
crazy story.
I had to give it to you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to speak on it in another kind of way. I want to speak on it to show my caring heart and my transition from wild, feel mo, everybody attitude to nah, I got to be responsible as big dog because this shit could come back on me. And the young dude that was gonna do it, let me hold the gun. I kind of finessed him, cause like, boy, no.
But if you're pointing the gun at him to be like, I'm gonna help y'all get out of here, you're really counting on them also not having a gun at some point,
if
right?
they had a gun, they didn't ever pull it. I got the prize in the back. I got the gun on game, letting him know. Now look, nigga, I ain't finna do nothing to you, but I'm letting you know, nigga, I could pop you right now. But it ain't about that. It's about you should have checked them, and he trying to say, I ain't got nothing to do with it. So I said, I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here, and I'm gonna make sure y'all get up out of here.
Right.
Now, that's 2013. Snoop Dogg and Game got the peace treaty thing or something with Minister Tony speaking.
Okay.
In LA, some type of peace march or something. I end up at that meeting. At that meeting, Game say, let me holler at you.
Okay.
So now it's like we finally finna read. This is our first conversation from 2002 to now this 2016 after the band situation.
Yeah.
And he like, let me holler at you. So I'm like, yeah, what's up? Woo, woo. So we communicating like we just gonna, figure some shit out, some type of network, something, right? He like, come on, let's take a picture. Boom, I take a picture with him. Boom. I said, all right, yeah, let me get that same picture. Boom. We exchanged number. In the next few days, he never answered the phone. But I'm like, that's cool. Another week or two went by. I'm like, oh, hell no, I ain't on that type of shit. Like, it was cool seeing you, but if you just want to use me to... Next thing I know, I'm on the front of a magazine, say Bloods and Crips make peace, and it got him and me on the front cover of the magazine. And I say, damn, I'm not a Blood or a Crip.
That's what I was thinking.
But it was what you call it? What's it called when you capture the moment when the paparazzi get the picture and then they a paparazzi. Okay. Right. Propaganda, paparazzi, whatever. But they was able to get the picture with me and Game.
Right.
Now I was there to support the Crips and Bloods, but to end up on the front of a magazine, and Wack100, that's the first time I seen him there. And the other part of this story is when Game was under Jimmy Henchman. And Jimmy Henchman was calling my phone personally, telling me, hey, look, homie, I don't know what you got going on with Game, but that's my artist. I heard you got some stuff with him, and I advise you, don't put that out, homie. It won't be good for you.
Okay.
And I said, good for me? who is this? Yeah, this Jimmy Henchman. Now, at this time, I don't really know who he is, but it didn't matter. Then my partner said, nah, he a big time dude. I said, okay. So I said, let me call you back. So I don't want to call him. While he called me back again and was like, yeah, so what's up, homie? You got them game masters. I say, look, bro, I'm from field mode. First of all, I got real killers gave me money in on this to get this project done. If y'all niggas don't want to buy this shit from me, boy, I'm putting this shit out. He say, man, if you put the album out, it's gonna be problems for you and they not gonna go away. I say, boy, do what you gotta do. Nigga, I'm out here starving in my hood right now. So I sat on the dope. I called 50 Cent. Well, I ain't called 50 Cent, I called Young Buck. He put me on the phone with Tony Yayo. Tony Yayo got Shy Money. They like, hey, the nigga JT, you know, because they just had signed game through the G Unit, Umbrella, Dr. Dre, Aftermath, and then Interscope. So once that happened, I knew, let me be respectful. Because I had already went to Dr. Dre, Aftermath, and they was like, you got the right paperwork, but this the same songs we already heard that we gave him his deal from. It was from your project. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, okay. Boom. So now I'm trying to shop it to 50 Cent and them. Well, 50 Cent and them wasn't cool with Jimmy Henchman anyway. So when 50 Cent like, bro, that's your shit, man, do your shit. I said, oh, man, f that, I'm finna go get me a deal. But Jimmy Henchman keep calling my phone. Then now I found out like, hey, boy, he could get you killed. I said, I'm so broke, I don't give a shit about that. I'm putting this shit out.
Right,
man.
because for those who don't know, Jimmy Henchman currently serving, I think, life.
Yeah, I think so.
For basically ordering a murder.
Okay, so some similar shit we just
from the situation where who was it? He ran down on his kid and spit in his face or some shit.
Oh, somebody, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, which is it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Who? Oh, Yayo kids. Oh, Yayo smacked up his son. Oh, they tried to get Yayo? Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I didn't know. All I know there is like he could get you killed.
Currently serving a life sentence in federal prison. He was convicted in 2012 for running a multi-million-dollar cocaine trafficking organization, and in 2014 for orchestrating a murder for hire on an associate of the rap group G Unit. And yeah, I mean that situation I've thought about a lot because you got to think about it as a man, as a gangster, whatever. It's like your pride. When someone spits in your kid's face or in any way antagonizes your seed, I mean, that's going to fill you with rage. Yeah. Like, I'm sure you would be more capable of getting shot yourself and not taking revenge than letting your kid get dealt with and not getting revenge. But think about that kid and think about how much time he's missed out on with his dad and how much he probably wishes that his dad had just tucked his tail and not felt the need to get revenge.
It's two sides. As the pop's like, boy, you play with my son. Yeah, I could see going to prison for that. I could see what they call it, a moment of rage.
Yeah.
Play with somebody's wife, somebody's children, somebody's mama. It's like, all right, this, you got to get the full belt, you know. But you're right though. I think something happening to me, I could think smarter. But for my child, my wife, or my mom or somebody, nah. It's a different mentality got to take over right there. Protection and violence come behind them.
100%. Yo, but I remember after we did that interview, Game went on Vlad, and Vlad actually asked him about you, and I haven't seen it since it came out, but my recollection of it was that he didn't really disrespect you. He didn't necessarily like give you your flowers in terms of the role you played in his career and everything, but I got the sense that, oh, okay, Game is not interested in antagonizing this shit anymore.
He don't want my name to come up nowhere, and that, I think that's the part that I knew about him. That once he got the deal, and I'm like, bro, you ain't even tell me you got the deal. I learned this off of some internet shit. Like, oh yeah, I did sign with Dr. Dre, you know. But 6 months after he signed with Dr. Dre, this how I got the contract up out of him. 6 months, you know, 50,000 can go quick if you never had 50,000.
Oh yeah.
You know, 5,000 here, 2,000. Your 50, it could go down quick.
Hell yeah.
Why he called me and said, man, I ran through the 50 and I've been asking for more money and they not giving me more money. And I'm like, oh, this might be one of them record deal situations. Like once we give you the money, you have to make something happen with that type of money. This your cash advancement. So he came back. And that's when I was able to buy some more songs and get him to sign the work for hire agreement.
Okay.
And that is the moment that I was able. I said a few months later, he did the song with Jim Jones.
Certified Gangsters.
He did that, and then boom, his buzz was going up,
Yeah.
and that's when I went to Aftermath. And then at the Aftermath, I went to G Unit.
Right.
And then in the midst of talking to G Unit, that's when Jimmy Henchman was calling. Because they like, JT got the real masters. And I paid for this. They offered me $75,000. I said, I want $250,000 or I ain't budging. Well, you only spent $12,000. So what? I believed in him first.
But so is Game doing an interview like that and just kind of like not disrespecting you? Is that good enough for you, or is there part of you that would like to be able to really, you know, chat with him for an hour on the phone and really get to an understanding?
I think at this stage, I'm about to be bigger than Game. At this stage, because I'm not just a rapper and I've never been under a manager. I never even had a manager. I'm 51. So at 51, what the fuck could you do? Well, I'm the owner of this thing called Trapflix. And Trapflix is a platform that we talked about, films, but now I have other components attached to it. All right. I spent time in Africa, East and West. I know the biggest gangs out there. I know the king out there. I know the chiefs over the land. The interaction with these folk and the talent that's there, I haven't really plugged them in yet. So the reason why I say I'm gonna be bigger, he'll be a bigger rap star and known for that. But me being bigger, I'm gonna be richer on all my masters. And when I say richer, it's not like a competition, but it's like wealth is by accumulated through the assets you own and through what you create. And Trapflix is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. If I do it right now, I'll be in position because I'm the owner of the whole thing. And now they about to turn on the subscription buttons. So there's gonna be a variety of options throughout the subscription for people to own channels, own advertising spots, and it's all coded through my own software.
Right.
So I'm not going through a middleman company. We built the software to go with even collecting the money.
So you're saying, hold up, let me get my status and my business completely in place, because when I have that conversation with Game, I want it to be as equals and not as somebody that you're...
It'll be me receiving the call from him.
Okay.
Because all these years, I've been in his DM out of 20-some years. When DMs did start, I've been in his DM probably 4 times, maybe. Hey, boy, tap in. Tap in. Woo-woo. He never tapped in. I'm like, oh, hell nah, nigga. Just because you was with, like, I don't wish him no bad. But I seen all the mistakes that he made, and if he would have had a guy like me as an alternative in his ear, there was certain paperwork he was not supposed to sign out the gate. There were certain moves he was supposed to make while he had the full buzz as a CEO, separate from him as the rapper. So he didn't understand that when you on top, you're supposed to put out 5, 6, 7, 8 other 9 acts that has nothing to do with Interscope, Dr. Dre, or 50 Cent, and a subsidiary company. Anybody from across America that was a rapper wouldn't have had no problem coming to his label. Black Wall Street, I got that from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He said, all of you rappers and all of you young people in these ghettos that's feeling like you have nothing and that you just poor, I want you to study Black Wall Street and look at how poor people networked with each other and created an economy from all the independent people working, and that created money that allowed them to grow. And that's what you had to do in the rap game. The producer, the filmmaker. Sometimes you don't get the money, you get to leverage your talent to be with this person to create a product that y'all both can eat from. So Black Wall Street, when he asked my permission, JT, I know you Black Wall Street, can I use it for the label? I said, yes. Little did I know he wasn't gonna open no door for me and then turn Black Wall Street into more of a gang. And I noticed, I said, damn, what happened to helping the people and bringing unity and bringing the entrepreneurs together? He missed that particular wave of all eyes on you. You the Prince of West Coast right now, and you didn't open the door for nobody. You have zero legacy of artists. You can't claim Nipsey, you can't claim Kendrick, and none of that, so let's stop it right there. But there should be a plethora of artists that was next generation that he could have had something to do with and or been the CEO of the next Aftermath or the next, but he cut out the brain part.
But
JT.
okay, to be fair,
he cut JT out, and he never found another JT with my particular set of talent when it comes to marketing, promotion, and making something out of nothing.
But you can kind of apply that to a lot of California hip hop legends. Even somebody like Snoop, you know, Snoop owns the Death Row rights for the label and everything. And at one point it seemed like, oh, this is a layup. He's just going to sign all these artists and stuff. And I feel like to a lot of guys who reach superstardom, signing, finding artists, building them up from the ground up, especially when you're primarily working with artists who are super from the streets, super gang related, etc. It seems like a lot of times it's just not really a challenge that dudes are either up for or that they ultimately want to take on. Like, it's very easy for me to understand why Snoop is not really out here trying to, you know, be sitting in the studio with 10 artists trying to blow their career up when he has so many opportunities for himself. And if you do manage to get one artist off the ground and build their career up, oh Lord, it's a war to really establish somebody's career. Like, you know, Game's not the only person who had the spotlight on him massively and wasn't able to necessarily turn it into a label or anything like that, right?
That's the key thing that when I look at myself, you cut out a person who's the mastermind of the independent dribble. So there were people that most likely probably said, well, let's just say JT don't got nothing to do with this. Yeah, because if he get any type of power from this play with this Aftermath, G-Unit shit, this guy is going to create something. But I still had to create something without that. But that's why I said I don't never want him to think that I got hate or I'm jealous. I know the God that blessed you. He gave you me to help kick it off. I'm the first person. You didn't even think you was a star. I said you the next star for the West Coast. I wrote that in my book called Black Wall Street CEO Manual. It's amazing to see what my mind said before it comes true. It's amazing to see the different elements and things I've been able to do. That's probably left field than what most rappers are even caring about doing. I knew something back then, whatever buzz God give you, at one point, they not screaming your name. At any point they screaming your name, you better make some more shit happen while you got the spark. Because you could be hot today and then you could cool back off and just be back in the mix like how Game is now. Imagine with all his accolades, right? Now, this is just me. The smartest thing I can see he doing tours out the country. If he went to Africa right now and stayed over there for 6 months, he could be big as 50 Cent right now. Meaning, when I say big as 50 Cent, he would have a whole continent behind him, a megastar of his kind of. So if you're watching Game, take these notes. Go over there and stay over there for 6 months or a year in Africa. The money bag and the concerts that they would have for him, he would be able to recapture a buzz that'll make probably America get back excited about him. Because over here, I noticed the excitement level of a star like that. Whatever he said or did, his star power is.
I mean, at least part of like understanding what kind of dude he is. When I hear Wack say that Game basically like if he has a tour lined up or whatever, and the new NBA 2K comes out, he's basically like not interested in the tour anymore. When I feel like he is the type of guy who is very comfortable financially and doesn't necessarily want to do the, you know, hitting the road for 6 months and staying out in Africa to be able to increase his stardom that much more. He seems like the kind of guy who he knows what he wants to do. He wants to. I don't think he's in love with the limelight in the way that a lot of rappers might be.
I think when you have so much light, that the light ain't as exciting. So I could say that's possibly part of it. You know. I mean, in no form or fashion am I saying that he not valuable.
Right.
But just as a person knowing when you got a buzz, when your star power or your artistry start to cool off or whatnot, the businessman in the rap game, like a Boosie, shout out to Boosie, make some type of play happen that got something to do where it's constantly, or if you don't like me for this album, well, I got the Boosie badge, or I got the Lil Weezy, or the this or the that event, or I got the wet t-shirt at my house, like using his name for something that is business. Now, I'm not saying Game don't do that. And maybe he got this, like you say, he comfortable, he probably don't care, he probably is filthy rich, who am I? But I just know that legacy, other people being part of your legacy make your legacy a little bit bigger. Like it grows beyond you because of those other people. Like like Dr. Dre tree is so fucking big with all these different people who became, you know, became something.
100%. All right. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan.
Yes. R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan,
An
man.
integral part of the story of Atlanta and of Nut and everything like that.
Yes.
What was your relationship with him, and how did it feel to see him lose his life due to something that realistically, you know, it's really just bad luck. You know, you get something that ain't what it's supposed to be. And
when I think about Rich Homie Quan, the last time I saw him was me, him, and Nut 2 days before Nut got killed.
wow. Okay.
And, you know, he had a discrepancy with Birdman about, you know, the Rich Gang Project. And I think he was trying to get some type of understanding. And I just seen him, a guy who had the star power first, and then Thug came, and then whatever happened between them two to start having like conflict. I think Rich Homie Quan started feeling like the streets turned on him. Like I could tell whatever he was going through with his label, you know, different little stuff he was going through. His pops getting shot, of course, the Young Thug situation, his life on the line because of Nut. Like it was serious, right? So I got to see that he went into more of himself.
Yeah.
And then he started to come back. I started to see him making more moves and different shit of him coming back. But I think the pain of Nut, the pain of his father, the pain of seeing the industry not think he's hot no more. Some people could take that, and some people like, man, y'all don't love me.
You have the whole world loving you for 2 years,
Loving
whatever.
the fuck out of you.
And then they turn on you just like, and it must just feel horrible as an artist for it to be such a collective feeling.
A team play against you. The same thing when they had the JT, he's a scammer, he's this and that. But I walked through it by God's grace, thank you, Lord, and made it to where I'm at right now. Like all of the rumors had to fall to the wayside. But when you put rumors out there and then you got other people repeating the rumors, so now it's kind of like, oh, it must be true. You know? So watching Rich Homie go through that and then knowing how pills feel can make you feel, or how cocaine can make you feel, or what they call it, Adderalls, and this will make you feel better, and then you got the Percocet, and it can do this, or it can take some lean, you know. But knowing that all these drugs is coming with the mix and coming with the Scoobity Bamboo, he knew this already. Yeah. He knew this, but I can't say how deep he was into it. But to see that he just died like that in his house, his family around, like, you know, it could be casual usage or it could be pain usage. Like, I need a dose right now. Right. I need this dose to feel, because I ain't feeling good. So that's my thought. You know, I remember him as the star he was, you know, and addiction is real. You know, sometimes I be wanting to feel good, but I'm like, shit, I can't feel good right now. Why? You start down this path again, boy, you could be having fun. Right. And then you fund your ass right to a brick wall or fund your ass to the gravesite. Right. So that's another thing that keep me like, shit, party time, less you think about that type of shit. You know, the more you treat yourself or look at your accomplishments, like me making it back from Africa in one piece, after all that shit, I'm like, I can't come home and just get killed. I can't come home and be at the party too much. I can't be at the block party or this. I gotta treat myself like Gucci Man. I say, this is part of a term. Gucci Man, Jeezy, what you mean by that? If they come out as 10 fucking security guards, a machine gun man there, the other man there, if I'm not doing that at these parties, then I shouldn't go. If I'm not gonna invest into my security, then I shouldn't go. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't feel like going to no party and I gotta pay for security right now, because I'm not arguing with nobody. We ain't finna be going back and forth for all that, man. Y'all niggas handle this shit. You know, and that's what Gucci do. Right. That's what Jeezy do. They, like the dude talking about he was beating Jeezy up. Man, what day was this? Right. Jeezy bodyguards, they hurt people for real. That's what they get paid for. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what they get paid for.
But you see that with Gucci with the way he moves around at this point. You don't see him in mixed company environments.
No 2-man crew with him, and he just Yeah.
I've seen videos
No.
that he's done with other artists where maybe the other artist is shooting all their scenes with a whole big mob of dudes outside a liquor store or whatever, and then the part of the video that Gucci's in
They somewhere
is
else.
just them. They in a
That's
room.
right.
You know,
it's too risky to put your life in street people's hands.
yeah.
Even though we still do that, but when you get to a certain level, like me, the level I'm at, no matter what city and state, somebody always be like, hey, you the dude I seen you on YouTube, or I seen your movies, DVDs, I remember your face. And I said, I gotta protect myself. I gotta look at myself as a person that, you know, JT, I wanna be like Steve Jobs. I wanna be like Bill Gates. 2 motherfuckers that didn't finish college, 2 motherfuckers that had ideas, and 2 motherfuckers that thought of something that they could see. If I can get computers in everybody's hands, I could sell them shit from the computer. Like I seen his videos where he talking about, yeah, I want to sell you your stuff from you never leave your home. This before the shit was really popping. And then the shit to come true. And now they selling us shit. We ordering Amazon and fucking drones dropping shit off and all type of shit. So that's where Trapflix, and that's just the beginning of it is Trapflix.com, Trapflix, the application for iPhone, Android, but there's other aspects of software that I'm learning and other components that applications do that I'm gonna move beyond just film and hood movie shit, where it's other ideas that can make you 100 millionaire or a billionaire. Literally, the rap game, I can't see that ever happening right now.
No, definitely.
Of guys building a model and end up like Jay-Z right now. Like when I say about Jay-Z, starting off with a basic deal and then had to go through every step.
Because it's one thing to be a rapper or an entertainer and to create content, another thing to control the means of distribution.
And
That's
actually
very different level. Yeah.
I
Different
seen,
level of wealth.
I seen Snoop Dogg talking about something about he taking this shit off Spotify for $1 billion. They only giving up $38,000 or some type.
Did he
of
actually
crazy.
follow through with that? I'm not
I don't
100%
know.
sure. Yeah.
I seen it on Instagram.
I have a question. How does it feel seeing somebody like Woody, who has essentially acknowledged a lot of his role in a lot of the carnage that went on in this war in Atlanta and everything? I was out there with him. I seen it face to face. Little kids running up to him in the bowling alley, running up to him outside the corner store. He's a full-blown celebrity. And I when we mentioned Rich Homie Quan, that's what made me think of it, is like Rich Homie Quan saw that sort of popularity dip at a certain point, and it felt kind of arbitrary. Like it wasn't because his music just all of a sudden became dramatically worse or whatever. But then there's people in the culture who are super famous, and Woody's fame is not stopped as a result of Thug being back on the streets and everything like that.
I think it made him bigger.
Right.
I think he the first person to successfully transform it. Well, no, Charleston White was the first to make that type of culture of promoting or saying, yeah, I told or whatnot, and then turning it into something to where like people, oh my God, I want to meet him, and you know, they booking them is working.
Both of them are kind of unique because it's like, it's one thing when we see you and we think you're a street dude, we think you're a gangster, you're a rapper, whatever, and then we find out, oh, he's working with him, he's talking. It's another thing if we become aware of you and we already kind of know, like, oh, he's a snitch, and that it's kind of hard to like hate on him as aggressively as just a consumer of content when you didn't know the other version of him, even though obviously there was another version or a way that people viewed him.
I think what they have done is open the doorway for the monetization of even higher payouts for information for murders. I think it's a higher payout now. More people probably like, well, shit, I know about something. And if Woody can do it, and like it's a confidence thing that right now that people probably like, man, I don't care. Hell yeah, I'm telling, I'm getting out. They already got me with the gun. They got me doing this. Like, what's his name? Yellow Beezy.
Right.
And they saying that his main shooter is to testify now. I'm like, damn, well, why would you pay? And then this fucking shooter tells. That's maybe he saw Lil Woody and was like, you know what? I fuck with my mans. He did pay me, allegedly. Because he, you know, they show him with the money the day after the murder. He got all his money. I'm like, but you got paid. But yeah, but they got me and they didn't get him. I see fucking Woody shining. Maybe I can cut me a deal and get out too. Woody is out, fucking riding around in cars. He's doing parties and tic-tac things. And It's
because
I think
the shooter in the Yellow Beezy thing, he sat down for 3-4 years, I'm pretty sure, before he decided to let him know who paid him.
Yeah, because they would have been picked him up if you pay for it. Like, I seen wives, they got some secret camera, and she tells some dude, hey, I want you to kill my husband at 7 o'clock at his doctor's office or something. And then 50 fucking feds come out of nowhere. But they got it on camera. So maybe they was probably waiting on him to, if that's what happened.
Right.
Because why would they pick him up right now and they charging him and got the other dude picture next to him? Like, yeah, he paid him.
And everybody wants to hate on the rappers who talk too much. But to be fair, you know, I mean, you could say about Lil Durk and Thug and all these people, like, you guys put way too much street shit in your music, and you did interviews in some cases where you kind of alluded to shit too much. Yellow Beezy, I mean, maybe some of it was in the music. I haven't really dug into that.
I
super
never
deep.
seen him arguing back and forth.
Right, but in interviews, never has Yellow Beezy, I don't think, gave up anything besides he would say that he didn't know Mo3, or we'd say rest in peace, I didn't really, you know, blah, blah, blah. He always downplayed the shit so much, and still the situation kind of unfolded, yeah.
Well, I do want to say this, and this is just something that I know I should say at this time, especially to all my thug gang members, street nigga, real steppers. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, what we did in the past and got away with, in 2025, grace of God allowing us to do what we want, he said the grace part is coming to an end. He said now, things that you used to can get away with, maybe you knew how to spin and do all this shit and get away. He said now, your activities, our activities of what we do, God gonna make us pay for it quicker now. He made this statement last year. He said, coming into 2025, because God is tired of all this. Y'all thinking killing is fun. You're disrespecting mothers and children. You're shooting babies and all that. So you think this is fun? Okay, I'm telling you now, coming into 2025 and moving forward, if we continue with this wickedness, the way that we going about it, you ain't got to worry about the police. What God is going to bring our people something so bad that we going to wish God take it up off of us, because we calling on it like Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, Sodom, I learned, because I didn't know this, but I learned, Sodom had a problem with male-on-male sexual activity. Then I learned Gomorrah, they had a problem with killing each other, murders, you know, spinning and shit. But they side by side, two cities, and he don't like this activity and he don't like this activity. So Lot and Abraham got something to do as men who warn the people. So Farrakhan, as much as controversy that come with him, he has been a faithful warner to the whole nation. Like, look, I'm trying to tell you, God sent me to say this message. No matter how evil that you might think, I'm calling all face back to do the right thing, because even white and black is going to pay for the dirty deeds. Whatever been done in the past. He said Donald Trump is our last president. There will be no more presidents after him. Either he going to help save America, or he finna turn the gas up, put his foot on the pedal, and drive us straight into something else. By him getting shot in the ear, the minister said that was a sign for him to listen. Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible was a man that didn't want to hear Daniel and them saying, hey man, God said it's time, you know, they've got to get this thing together. No ruler in the Bible wanted to hear nothing from no man. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? Oh yeah, God sent me to tell you. Man, what? I got armies, I got money, Yeah, he said, watch the weather. So all the rappers that come on here, and I know they want to blame you, Adam, yeah. But in truth, whoever talk here, no matter what your question is, it's up to the person speaking to answer certain things. Yeah. But people want to be known for the shock of, well, yeah, let me tell you about this, let me tell you about that.
And I mean, I've seen situations where it doesn't even feel like they understand what they're saying as being illegal or shocking. Like, there's one that stands out to me that Loose Cannon was on here basically describing basically like extorting a drug dealer or somebody for a bunch of money with Big U, allegedly.
Oh shit.
And that like Big U was basically like acting like they got less money than they got so that he wouldn't have to split the money evenly, all this type of shit. And I'm sitting there listening to it, and people think I'm the mastermind of all this shit. I'm just like taking it in, and I'm sitting there just thinking like, Damn, that sounds illegal as fuck.
Don't you think
what
they
the
could
fuck
be
you talking
making
about
up
that
shit though?
For sure, he could be making
You
it
don't
up.
think this makeup
But this is in the
up,
indictment. The feds believe that this was him talking about some real world shit that actually
that really did happen?
Yeah, and I mean, they're not going to be able to convict you based on just a podcast description of events, but for sure it could help once they have other evidence. Yeah, like the guy that they were allegedly extorting is cooperating.
Okay, watch this. Just me being honest with you, Adam.
Sure.
I thought you had a deal with Bigga Baby and these dudes to make up stories, to make it juicy. I'm keeping this shit real because I'm like, is they saying this on camera?
Yeah.
Adam and them got to have a deal. This shit got to be scripted or something like an agreement, but you just said. So this come off their own mouth.
Right.
I mean, none of this is a script.
Yeah, no. Bigga Baby, no matter how long they interrogate him, is never going to be able to say, "Oh, Adam told me to say this." If anything,
so they can't put your name in it. You can't come up. You didn't entice them to do these crimes for content.
Have we ever before an episode said, "Hey, when we talk about this, let's kind of do it like this to make it a little bit more dramatic or whatever." For sure, but like as far as like air yourself out, talk about some federal crimes that you took part in. I don't want them to do it. Okay. I don't. And to be real, they don't tell me about that shit. It's not like we get off camera and they tell me where the bodies are hidden.
Okay.
This is not something that I've ever really had a rapper. I have had rappers, like in particular in Chicago, when the cameras are off, be like, so-and-so killed so-and-so, right? And I'll keep my mouth shut about that shit. I don't got any interest in spreading that kind of shit around. But I've never had a rapper say, I killed so-and-so or I rob this bank or whatever.
Do you think it's okay for these guys to be on here and make up part of the story to make it juicy? Is that something you told them, now look, if you're going to talk, let's keep it thorough, or do you let them, it's on them if they add something to it to make it more spicy?
If it sounds like they're bullshitting, for sure, I feel like it's kind of my job to try to sit there with a skeptical ear and try to poke holes in it.
Come on, man, that's right.
But that being said, a lot of the stuff that people make up is like the kind of stuff that you can't really fact check, or if it is made up, or you never know, or like maybe they heard it wrong through the grapevine and so their version of events is different or whatever. And then sometimes, honestly, with this Big U or the Rollin 60s takedown or whatever, it's kind of like, oh, so maybe I should have been taking y'all more serious when you told me certain things, because it does sound like now this is making me take certain things more serious.
Do you think Wack100 need to be responsible to the Black community for the chaos he's caused? Do you think he should apologize? Or do you think, since this is a business, he has no type of responsibility to the Black community?
What chaos?
The chaos from his wordplay and his lingo. Do you think it's that serious? Do you think he's having an impact? And the reason why I'm asking, because I was going to make my own personal, but I'm like, well, if you work with him, how do you feel?
For sure, there's specific people and specific incidents. Like, I don't like the way that whole shit went down with Jay Diggs.
Okay.
He threw Jay Diggs in the mix and said a bunch of foul shit about his kid.
Same thing he did about me.
That wasn't rooted in reality, in my opinion, at all.
And I cleared that up on my interview.
Right.
Yes, I did. When y'all
stuff like that, I feel like his ego and his hubris is too mixed up in it, where he won't just take a second, sit back and say, listen, all right, I was wrong. I was wrong in this situation. I feel like there's definitely situations like that. But at the same time, him talking about Big U's charges before they dropped based on information that he had that might not have been as public as him and certain other people made it, I understand that it's like, shit, if you feel like you're pulling information from Clubhouse and TikTok and the mom made a statement that led you to believe this, and you're basically trying to monetize being the first person who knows about some charges before the charges actually come down, it's harder to find fault in that, because Big U did say, like, Wack, like, you snitched on me and you basically created this whole situation, as if Wack and 600 talking about this shit over the past couple of weeks could have made the feds indict him. I don't think so.
Well, I don't think per se like him and Big U situation. Well, I'm gonna say this. Let me say this right here. A situation happened with me and Big U. Me and Big U get into it about somebody else. I won't say their name.
Okay.
Me and this person had some words. Boom, they called Big U. Big U called me. And then he tried to press me, not in a negative way, but it was like pressing without pressing. And I'm like, well, hold on, big homie. Me and dude XYZ. All right, long story short, Wack called my phone. Hey, nigga, this JT? I said, who is this? Oh, this Wack100. I'm like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up with you and Big U? I'm like, Big U? Yeah, nigga, me and Big U got our own issue. Nah, nigga, this Wack100, nigga, on Pyro. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, nigga, what is you calling me about some Crip business for? Ain't you a blood, nigga? What is you? Yeah, but we working together, nigga. We together.
This is before the split?
This is before the split.
Got it.
And this is while I'm in Atlanta. I would say a few more things, but I ain't gonna go there.
Okay.
But he'll know what I'm talking about. So now Wack take over for Big U. I'm like, hold on, me and Big U arguing, nigga. Who is you? You ain't got nothing to do with this. This some Crip business going on. So Wack make a few calls. Let's just say where he called to, them boys like, hey, Fig, I want you to get out of here. Wack trying to push buttons right now. So I say, all right, boom. So when I leave, I never forget this, though. I never forget this conversation. So all the times we didn't talk and whatnot, I could go into it further because activity was part of this, right? But he act like, did you remember you called for Big U? You don't remember? I could blow this podcast up to go into further, but I'll just let him respond to this if he want to. Wack, if you feel like talking about this, when you call my phone on behalf of Big U while we was in Atlanta, when me and Big U and some of his guys got into it, and you tried to jump in it, you know how he like to throw shit out there, Wack those shit out there? I'm saying something right now, and he could respond if he want to. I won't break that news. You could finish the story, Wack. But yeah, I came out on top though. That was pretty good. And then me and Big U, that's when me and Big U got closer because he like, damn, homie, that was a misunderstanding. I'm like, yeah, maybe I was trying to tell you. These niggas saying X, Y, and Z. I'm like, shit, I'm standing on this field mode business. And Big U like, hey, I respect that. When you come to LA, come pull up on me. And boom. Ever since then, I've been pulling up on Big U. Then I seen him and Wack fall out. I'm like, what the hell? He was just pressing me, trying to press me over, Big U. Now they enemies.
He loves hard, and then it falls out even harder.
Yeah. So, Wack, you could tell that story, though, Wack. Since you always like to hate on me, Wack. Yeah, tell him why you really hate on me, Wack. And tell him why you probably really don't like that I'm sitting here. And I ain't never, have I ever asked you for $1?
No.
I want to ask you for a contribution for Trapflix on camera right now. Whatever you want to donate.
I thought you said it was worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
No, I don't say buy.
Not yet.
Not buy.
Okay.
Not buy. I just want you to make a contribution. I want to ask for your financial support. You can do it off camera. It could be whatever you want. But I would like to say no jumper supported Trapflix.
There you go.
I'm a fucking software developer. How many fucking rap guys you know that own software and spent big money?
I would love to be a part of that. I feel like we need to do content more consistently. Although you also seem like you're constantly moving around. And
I'm able to make things happen because these same cameras, you know, I can get it done.
True.
But I just know that the guys talk about how they come here and make all this money. And I said, I'm going to fuck with Adam on GP. But I'm going to ask you on camera just so I could say, whatever you would like to support my business, Trapflix, as a contribution to help me continue going further, I'll accept it.
Okay, I would love to be a Trapflix investor.
Come on, is y'all listening? We don't need no middleman Wack100 trying to negotiate for me and try to, you know, because he'll try to say I'm only worth this much down here.
Okay.
But it's really up here.
It's up here.
Yes.
It's in the clouds. Right, for sure. Oh, I only got like 20 minutes before I got to go meet my mom.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you about this. There's always been this thing that people outside of Atlanta said for years and years and years, which is like, man, if California artists could just work together like the Atlanta artists, then things would be so much better, so much bigger. Yes. And then over the last couple years, it's kind of, well, I feel like it was never that simple in Atlanta, that there's always been stuff going on that maybe people weren't as tuned into. But in particular, it feels like nobody's under that illusion anymore. And when I look at the police conference that they did, or the press conference that the police did about Lil Baby, basically trying to blame him for the deaths of some teenagers as a result of a domino effect that took place from him filming a music video in a certain place.
In my project, Dixie Hills.
Oh, that was where you were
Dixie
posted.
Hills.
Okay.
That's my, yeah.
I mean, that seemed kind of unprecedented to hold that kind of press conference about somebody who has not been charged with anything, and definitely just sort of cast a weird light on Lil Baby, especially as somebody who seems like he's been proactively going out of his way to try to not do things to make it so easy for people to run down on him like that.
To be honest, I never heard his name come up in no bullshit. Now, is he affiliated because he from these particular neighborhoods? Of course. But his label, is some of the people from his label was able to get into some type of trouble. And then I think he saw what happened with Doug and he started falling back from the 4PF little group and how they was moving. So he's like, you know what? I'm shutting this down. He did that proactively before they ever did that.
Right.
Now, are these young kids getting killed in Atlanta right now between these different groups? Yes. Younger and younger. The 12-year-olds shooting the 15s, the 14, 13. So that murder rate amongst that age group is up there and they want to blame it on somebody. Now, I can't sit here and say that that's fair. That is not fair how they treated him with that particular press conference, but the pain of these children losing their life, they don't have a face to put on it. So they kind of use his face to draw the people in to get attention. I think it's more clickbait. I think just the hurt and the pain of the black community, you know, it's a strong black community. So they trying to figure why is the 14-year-olds blasting with switches and all type of shit, kids killing kids. And they want to put it on him. That they already did it, public opinion, by putting that out there. But to charge him, he's a victim. If his shit got shot up, that's victim status. That's not he came through shooting.
Do you feel like this is all kind of part of a bigger wave, a bigger trend where like so many of these American cities are basically deciding that they're just not gonna allow craziness to take place?
Yes, I think the fact that the bragging in rap music and the bragging online that the world can see and through bloggers, okay, let's take that clip. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke you and you know, that's your mama house and all this. Like that shit is popular because it's real-time drama. So there's an audience that's never gonna go away. So the actors are the people who in the street, it's almost to the point where if you kill somebody and don't nobody know, you still not on the map. This body has to be known. They got to know that was us, baby. That was me and my mans. That was me and Lil Ray, nigga. We stepping on shit. Now that concept, the community is absolutely saying, if this is how you guys gonna do it and give us the ammo to put your ass in jail, then we coming for you. All this rap beef, rap blog talking, all this shit, they already capturing all the words. Whoever they can tie to anything, they coming for them, man. It's too easy. I hear the police laughing like they do the fucking job for us. They're on there. They got the same clothes on from the murder. The witness, he got the same shoes. Them the same shoes. Look at the murder car in the background. Just the same car. He doing TikTok videos with the same gun or the same car. It's too easy.
Yeah. No, it's wild.
Too easy.
Definitely. Yeah, it's mind-blowing when you're looking at Reddit and you're seeing all of these young-ass kids who are barely making a name for themselves musically, and like somehow the internet just knows who killed who, have very strong feelings about it. Like they're picking up on little things in the Instagram stories and everything.
Nobody lawyer better than Instagram lawyer, Facebook lawyers. Whoever these people are, they know how to go back and find clips and like, who the fuck was thinking about, yeah, you see them shoes? What made you point out the shoes? Like, how did you even know? I don't know if AI is helping with this, but it's definitely some people like that just know what you just said.
Right, for sure. What are your expectations for YFN Lucci's career, being that, you know, he stayed solid, went, did his time. Everybody now is aware of a lot of street activities that he was apparently involved in, but he also was the op, I guess, to the mega popular rapper. Do you expect that the audience is gonna warmly embrace him, or do you feel like that's gonna be a uphill battle?
I think he's gonna go higher than where he was before if he stay on the right track. He got a good, strong family. He got people that love him.
Very talented. Made great music.
Yeah, he know one strike you out. So I believe with the family he got, shout out to his moms too. They not on no bullshit like, hey, you gonna be where you supposed to be. You know, you follow these rules and regulations. And what from what I'm hearing, the music he got already is phenomenal. From what I'm hearing. So I don't know when he dropping. I don't know if he's still with the same label, but I do know whenever he dropped, the streets gonna eat it up.
It's really interesting that both him and Thug got out and have decided to kind of just stay quiet for a while.
Stay your ass quiet.
I mean, Thug has put out like 2 features since he got out, but we're still waiting on a full project and everything. And it does feel like that's very different because a lot of rappers, it's literally first day out.
I
They're
think
dropping the song.
I think Gunna has become a problem, not in a bad way because it's kind of like the same, but of course he got the stigma attached to him or the accusation, but nothing has come out from that.
Right.
So his music, he the perfect example of they was trying to bury him, and then he made some phenomenal music. His last project with the little blue cover, I fucking listened to that project back to back in so many days that'll be on repeat, any song that come on.
Yeah.
And it do remind me of original Thug, the original Thug days, but he got his own swag, and I could hear similarities. But for whatever reason, I'm a fucking Gunna fan.
Right.
Off that I don't hear him trying to be too gangster on this shit. It's more player, it's more lady orientated, it's more getting money. You know, I hear a little couple lines of, you know, he got it on him, or, you know, they gonna spin something or whatever. But in terms of, he the best example I seen of somebody they was trying to bury, and then he came out with that music like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
No, 100%. Okay. You're also, obviously I'm asking all these Atlanta questions, but you're obviously a historian of Northern California. EBK J-Bo gets out, is blowing up for a couple weeks on the internet, and then it feels like, you know, he just was not moving around carefully at all. They pick him up driving around with drugs and guns and whatnot, and he gets locked up right away. He's already back out.
Yeah.
But it is kind of crazy to see somebody like him, who I consider to be basically the biggest emerging star coming out of California, but it's connected to, you know, if you listen to his music, this is one of the most murderous rappers you ever listen to. Everything is about this lifestyle. It's kind of shocking, but also it's kind of unsurprising that, because I'm seeing, when I'm in Chicago, I'm talking to people, and that's the one rapper that they want to talk to me about in Chicago.
Yes.
They're like, yo, is it really like that? They really got
Yes.
smoke with so-and-so. And I'm kind of like,
Yes.
damn, y'all are really paying attention now that we got a demon that y'all view as being on the same type of shit that y'all are on.
I actually left him when he first got out, maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm like, bro, you got these folks. You already been there, done that on the street shit. Man, let your rap shit take you all the way. You got these folks. When they just took him down a few days later, and I was remembering like, damn, I left him a heartfelt little post when he first got out his first day. And to see what he went down for, not to say, you know, he out already, which is cool. But the whole thing, like, he gotta still show that he a demon with the bullshit on the block with the real block boys.
Yep.
We got real guns out here. Like, he
goes right
he
back to the
to-
block and shoots videos.
He has to still show that now. What I would say is that, as advice, get them scenes out the way, man, take the flight to the other cities where you don't have to absolutely move in that type of environment up under them blueprints, because it is on site out there with them dudes. If they do know he's over here, somebody is coming. Right. Because that's an act of war.
Yeah.
But he the hottest though, for sure, emerging artist right now. He remind me of Mozzie when Mozzie had that same kind of buzz.
Right.
You know. But yeah, shout out to J-Bo, man. I hope he take flight with that shit.
I love the new narrative too, where it appears that him and Stunning Girl are dating.
Oh, you know, that sound pretty good right there. Like,
that could really take him to the top, because now you're in the Zeus world. Now you got the shade room. The black women are paying attention to you all of a sudden once you're dating a hot female like her.
She see, when I looked at her, because I didn't never know who she was, but she's a rapper too, I see.
Oh yeah.
So she raps, she got 1 million something followers, and I'm like, oh, she like a model chick, you know, extra.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, J-Bo got one. I think that's good for promotion.
Yeah, no, for sure. But she also like super with the shenanigans out there too.
Oh, she do the bullshit.
she knows 100% what's going on in the streets.
So she knows what she doing too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the crazy shit about it is
I
that,
see that.
she was a big Mozzie affiliate for a long time,
And now she switched over.
and now she was J-Bo. I don't know. I mean, maybe she could play
Maybe
both
that's-
sides.
Nah,
Does it usually work out like that?
Well, you know, I'm not so knee deep in it no more. But from my understanding, I guess girls can kind of be from both sides, depending on what dude she with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, too, man. I gotta shout my little bro out, man. Can I shout my little bro out?
Of course, yeah.
This is a young bro. Come over here real quick, bro. I want the world to know he just turned 20. Did you just turn 20 or you 20 already? Yeah. All right, look. Come here, man. Come on over here, man. Let me let you sit down real quick. This is and he gotta leave, but I need to say this right now.
What up, Adam?
I met him in Chicago a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Right? I said, you got the look that I want. I want to do this film for Trapflix. I want you to be a young star in the film. He said, all right, cool. So we filming. And I'm like, all the young dudes his side, all they want to do is kill, and they talking about murders and all the shit. But he actually got music that could take him out. But his family is part of the other shit. So I say, look, let me bring you to Atlanta. And I had him do a song with Zay Tobin's son, which is 19. And I'm like, look, this Zay's son. Look at his music, what he talking about. It's player shit, it's lady shit. But he is one step away from being able to die out there, or he could take flight. So I just want to give him a little shot right here, man. It's Adam right here, man,
bro.
22,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bro. Yeah, I got to hear the music for sure.
Yeah,
I want to see what
so-
you got to offer. But you were initially just attracted to him based on the look?
The look, then I heard
But then you heard the music? Okay.
I'm like, oh, shit. So you is the type of rapper that I would get behind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tell
Yeah,
me
my
your
name KJ got next, man. Stay tuned. I got some hot shit dropping, man.
Okay, what do we search on YouTube if we want to find it?
KJ got next.
Okay.
Yeah,
KJ got next. Got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
we
on
gonna tap
Trapflix,
in for
we
sure.
gonna
Yeah.
on Trapflix.
So-
Get your ass up. I just had to make sure. Oh yeah, and then look, my team making sure. Look, I call myself. I
Oh,
went to
shit,
the
here we go.
garment district, and they was like, you can make your own hoodie right now.
Oh, that's hard.
Shout
Oh,
out for my
shit.
Trapflix, man. You know,
That's hard.
hold on. Then I had to flip it over. You know, Filmo. I gotta
Filmo.
put the Filmo shit on the map. You know, since 1973. So yeah, that's part of my promo. I had to throw that in there.
Anytime anybody mentions anything about Fillmore, I'm like, oh, JT.
JT, goddamn it. Listen, you know where I got that from?
Hmm.
The fucking Crips and Bloods. Everywhere down south I was going, somebody be like, yeah, what up, cuz? What's up, blood? I'm like, damn, how the fuck is y'all Bloods? Nah, somebody from out there came out here and they told us we could be Bloods. I say, shit. I said, I need to do that with Filmo. Filmo Atlanta, Filmo Bama, Filmo Chirac, Filmo Watts, Filmo Compton. Everywhere I'm tying my hood, but not for the gang, G-A-N-G. Filmo the game, G-A-M-E, the independent game, what I'm popular for. Positivity over negativity.
100%.
100%.
That's a good note to end it on. JT, I appreciate you so much, man. I wish I could sit here for 3-4 hours with you.
Come on, man. I appreciate you having me come, man.
Anytime we get to tap in, always amazing. I definitely think we should work on how we could kind of consistently do more content because I do feel like you're one of the best minds that hip hop has to offer, man.
Come on, man. I'm with it.
Very few people who could speak so knowledgeably about so many different parts of the country as well.
Yes. And I put in that work.
100%.
Yeah. So we're going to make something happen, Adam, for sure.
Let's get it. JT, man, I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who watched this. No Jumper, coolest podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. Go get your Trapflix subscription or whatever it is at this exact moment. Appreciate y'all.
Download.
Let's go.